It's great to be in South Africa partnering with Service Quality Solutions. Let me give you a flavor for the bigger concept of how I think we can drive a service culture in South Africa. Typically what happens in an organization, we go to some kind of a seminar, we buy some kind of a training program, we get everybody all excited, everybody gets pumped up. And after about 6 months, it dies. And then, have you ever seen that happen, by the way? And then about 5 or 6 years later, because you don't want to rush into this, we do something else again. We get everybody all pumped up, and after about 6 months it dies. You ever see that happen? Well, then we wait, because again, you can't rush into this stuff. We wait another 5 or 6 years, and then we do something else again, another event. And after about 6 months, it dies. This is what we call training. This is what 99% of all organizations everywhere in the world do. What Service Quality Institute is doing is trying to help companies create a service culture. I think if you want to create a service culture, if you want to make an impact, you have to have something new, you have to have something fresh, virtually every 4 to 6 months. The magic words here is it has to be new. You can't buy the same stupid training program from Service Quality Institute or some other company and expect to put all your employees through it forever. Because the second time through, they're going to fall asleep. Second thing you got to do is you got to have something at least every 4 to 6 months that moves it to another level. So when you do something every 5 years, regardless of how good it is, you're dealing with humans. I don't care what you got. If you don't have constant reinforcement, something fresh, something new, at least every 4 to 6 months, it's going to die. You will never create a service culture. So what we have at Service Quality Institute is a variety of tools that you can use to change behaviors and change attitudes. One is we have a management program called Leading Empowered Teams, which does 4 things. It works on empowerment. How do we get people to make fast, quick decisions in favor of the customer? Number 2, it works on coaching and reinforcement. How do we take your supervisor, and when little Susie does a heck of a great job, how do we reinforce that and celebrate it? Third is it works on what do we got to change to become more customer friendly? What are some policies, procedures that are just crazy that turn off customers? And fourth, it works on teamwork. This is a 2-day seminar. But let's take all of your supervisors and your managers, you put them through it. Who cares? So what? I guarantee you, it's going to die. Because you're dealing with humans. And the second thing, let's say you've got a company of 1,000 employees. The most important person is the employee. So now what are we going to do with that employee to teach them the art and the skill of customer service? We have a program that you can use called Feelings. And by the way, as I go through these, I don't care what order you go in. What we're trying to get you to think of is a process. New, fresh, every 4 to 6 months. Feelings does 3 things. It changes attitudes and behavior. It teaches the skills of customer service. And it creates employee teamwork and builds morale. Implemented in 3 sessions, 3 to 4 hours each, spaced 1 week apart. But let's say you had a company of 1,000 employees and you put everybody through Feelings. Who cares? I guarantee you, it's going to die. I mean, this is really, really good stuff. But we're dealing with humans. And you can't keep putting everybody through Feelings because the second time through, Johan's going to say, this is getting really boring. So we have another program called BAD, which is a cost reduction campaign. And it gets each employee to look for a way to save just $1 a day. Not $1 million, not $25,000, but $1 a day. And there's about 250 working days in a year. And if you had, let's say, 1,000 people, and you took $250 times 1,000, that is $250,000. Now, if you took $250,000 to the tallest building in South Africa and you threw it out in the wind on a windy day, that's what every company in this country does every year. So the most customer-driven companies are extraordinarily frugal. They're constantly looking for ways to eliminate waste, and they pass the savings on to the customer. It's a 30-day campaign. We get a participation rate of 60. to 80%. And the reason it works, it's all built on recognition. But let's say you did the bad campaign and you saved millions of dollars. So what? Big deal. That's just like the training. It's an event. It's going to die. So what's phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5? So that you constantly have your foot in the accelerator pedal going 100 miles an hour. So we have another tool called Loyal for Life, which is all on service recovery. So when something goes wrong, somebody screws up, somehow your company does a big boo-boo, how do you take that customer from hell to heaven in 60 seconds or less? How do you flip that situation so that the customer says, my God, I think I've just touched heaven? Exceptional service is implemented in a half-a-day seminar. Again, something new, fresh, every 4 to 6 months. Then we have another program called the Good Idea Campaign, which gets all employees looking at where they work to come up with a way to improve quality and customer satisfaction. It's a 30-day campaign. Once again, it's all built on recognition. Participation rate is anywhere between 60 to 80%. The reason it works is there's no money. It's all built on fast recognition and fast implementation. And then we have another program that you could use 4 to 6 months later called the Service First Video Library. It's a 12-series video, 12 different topics of customer service, from service recovery to value-added service to handling irate customers. You could use a brand new session once a month for 12 months, once a week for 12 weeks. You could do 3 videos in a half a day, so you could have, 4 half-day seminars. And then the latest program that I got is called Speed. Speed is, how do you do it fast? How do you do it quick? How do you do it now? See, I think most people have a mindset called slow. Speed to me is if it normally takes 12 days to do something, how do I do it in 1 day? If it normally takes 10 hours, how do I get it done in 30 minutes? That's speed. What would happen if you could take your entire workforce and get everybody on a speed mindset, to get them to think about how can I do it fast, how can I do it quick? Let me tell you what, Amazon built a company built around speed. If you can change your company and get everybody to do everything they can do 5, 10, 15 times faster than they presently do it, you will change your organization. So this is what we're talking about with Service Quality Institute. This is a 3-year plan. The goal is something fresh, new, at least every 4 to 6 months, so that you got your foot on the accelerator pedal, you're going 100 miles an hour, you never let up, so the employee does not have a chance to slow down. Because the most important person in your organization is that little employee. And remember, they could go to any school for the rest of their life in South Africa, anywhere in the world. There's not one class, not one course that's going to teach that employee the art of customer service. So this is an all-you-can-eat buffet plan. You could choose individual programs and just choose a little bit at a time, or you could have the whole buffet and have everything you want. And when you do the buffet plan, there's no charge for employee turnover. The investment is very, very small per person. You save probably 50%. And it allows you to create what I call a service culture.